Alrighty. How's it going, everybody? Noah from Stage 3 here, and today we are finally getting the ball rolling on our 2021 Bronco build. So we've got a couple parts stacked up. We've got fuel wheels that are wrapped in BFGoodrich KO2s. These are 37s, and then I went ahead and ran white letters out on this because that's how my old man always runs them, and it rubbed off on me. I just like the look. But to go with that, our friends at ARB hooked us up with the new Old Man Emu 2-inch kit. So we're gonna get this thrown on here, and I'll kind of demystify some of the more confusing parts of the system as we go through it in the video, but it's a really nice suspension, and it should get us plenty of clearance to tuck these tires and a little bit better performance on the trail. So with that being said, I've got the Bronco on the lift. We need to tear that factory suspension out of there and make some space for it. So let's start turning wrenches, and I'll check back in just a little bit. So you guys probably already noticed that I removed the skid plates underneath here, but now we have to deal with this electronic disconnecting sway bar, which is actually super heavy. So we're just gonna precariously balance it on the jack and then lower it down, but I've got to loosen it up from the frame mounts here, and then we should be able to slide it out. I kind of test fitted it yesterday to see how that would work, but we'll give it a shot. So this seems a little more intimidating than it is once you actually get it down low enough, but we just need to disconnect these two electrical connectors on each side to get this thing free. So if I can get my hand in here, we'll pop the top one off. I want to get my bodies here, thank goodness. Yeah, there's the beast. There we go. These are normally way harder to break loose, but I broke them loose yesterday to get a little bit of a head start on it. Nice and easy, and there we go. Nice. This side you can tell I did not loosen because it takes a little bit more force, and you definitely need a breaker bar on this. Ford puts like 6,000 clips on these wheel well liners, but it's worth removing because you get a lot better access to the top of the coilover in the back once you have it out. There we go. Lots of dust too. passenger side out. All right, folks, we got the front and the rear suspension taken off, and I took those stock struts and shocks over to my buddy's shop so we could swap the top hats around. But now I've got some of the new equipment laid out here, and I wanted to take a minute to kind of demystify some of the stuff surrounding the Old Man Emu kit and what you actually get and what you need. So if you're interested in the details on that and you're trying to piece this together for your Bronco, then you should definitely stick around. But if you want to get back to the install stuff, we'll have time codes down below so you can skip ahead and kind of move past all the talking. But with that being said, what you'll see here on the ground is our new front coilover setup with the Old Man Emu springs and shocks. And then over here on the right, we have the original just Bilstein Haas suspension that was on this because it's a Sasquatch Bronco with the stock springs. And what I'll say right off the bat is that these do not come as complete units. So as I mentioned, I had to take these to my buddy's shop so he could use a wall-mounted spring compressor to move the top hats from the stock shocks over to the new Old Man Emu shocks with the new springs. So that way it all holds together. And it's not a huge deal, but you do want to make some time to where you're going to be able to have these dropped off for a day or for a couple hours and then go pick them up and bring them back. The other thing I'll note is that depending on what level of spring you've chosen, it can be more or less difficult to swap those springs. So in our case, we're using the heavy load rated springs, which do take quite a bit of work to get compressed. So this is one of those things that you guys should not attempt at home. It's definitely not worth the risk, and you probably won't even be able to get the spring compressed with just regular clamp-on compressors. You're going to need actual wall-mounted equipment. So keep all that in mind before you get started on this. But once it's said and done, you do get a complete strut to work with. Now, the other thing I want to say is that our Bronco's a 4-door. This kit at the moment is only available for 4-door Broncos, but I know that Old Man Emu is working on a 2-door version. It's just a little bit of a change in obviously the weight and the dynamics of the vehicle, so they don't want to use the same kit for both because they want it to work just right for the type of Bronco that you have. And then the other thing, like I mentioned before, is that there's a couple different levels of this kit to get it spec'd out properly. So one of the main things you'll see is that there's a kit 1 and a kit 2 option. You're going to need to select the kit that matches your motor. So kit 1 typically is for the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine, whereas kit 2 is for the 2.7 liter V6, which is what we have in here. Since it's a little heavier, the springs scale differently to manage that weight from the larger motor. So make sure you have that dialed in first. But then the next thing you'll want to select is the type of spring for the type of load that you'll have on the vehicle. You'll see that Old Man Emu has 3 options. There's typically a light load, or essentially a stock option. There's going to be a medium load and then a heavy load. And the medium's usually more intended for a vehicle that maybe has an aftermarket bumper and a roof rack and a little bit of additional weight on it for camping equipment or whatever else. And then the heavy load is going to be specifically designed for a vehicle with an aftermarket bumper and a winch and some more substantial weight on the front end. So we've optioned ours with the heavy load springs in the front because we are going to be adding a full giant Warren steel bumper with a 10,000-pound winch in there. But we opted for the light springs in the back because this is a soft top Bronco and we don't have a roof rack and we're not going to have a whole lot of extra weight hanging off there. So it should be pretty tame in the rear and we still want kind of a comfortable ride all the way through. Depending on what you're doing, you may want to do, all light springs, all heavy springs, however you want to set it up. The overall goal here though is to achieve about 2 inches of lift. And what I will say is that that's going to be 2 inches of lift on a non-Sasquatch Bronco. So if you have a regular Black Diamond or Big Bend or whatever that may be, you'll typically see right about 2 inches. For this truck, being that it was a Sasquatch to start, you're going to be closer to about 3/4 of an inch or a full inch of lift. Because the truck already sits higher, that's why it's not as substantial of a change. So we are still technically getting more ground clearance and a little bit more room to fit a larger tire. It just kind of varies depending on the package of Bronco. Now, there's a few other pieces of equipment that Old Man Emu provides that I want to make note of here. And firstly, let's talk about these shim kits. And these are not a requirement, but they can be used to basically fine-tune the look and the stance of your vehicle. And they're really more intended to help with weight distribution. So if you have a roof rack, but the weight tends to lean more on the driver's side of the vehicle, you could use a shim on both the front and the rear strut to add, somewhere around 1/4 of an inch of lift on that side on top of your current spring and shock setup. So that way the truck sits a little more level and isn't leaning. You can kind of do the same front to back or corner to corner. You get 2 shims for the front on each side and 2 shims for the rear on each side. So you can use 1 or 2, but Like I said, not a requirement. We're not going to use them on ours because we won't need them, but it's one of those things to just help you dial in your vehicle to really get a stance that you like. The next piece I want to point out is this rear Panhard relocation bracket, and this is not optional. You have to install this regardless of your trim level of Bronco and regardless of how you have the spacers and everything positioned. That bracket's going to be a requirement. It's only for that rear Panhard, and it's not too complex of a piece, and it comes with all the hardware you need, but that's one of those things that you're going to get in your kit, and it looks a little weird. It's hard to identify what it is just pulling it out of the box. The last part I'll point out here is that sway bar that we have sitting in front of the Old Man Emu struts, and this piece is somewhat optional. The reason I mention that is because with a Bronco like ours, it's Badlands package and it has a disconnecting front sway bar from factory, so I'm not going to swap in the Old Man Emu bar. I want to keep our disconnecting sway bar as is, and it's not going to mess with the truck at all. We can run that just fine, so if you have a similar package, you should have no issues. But if you have a Bronco that does not have the disconnecting sway bar option and you're going to be running a heavier loaded setup with a winch bumper and some additional weight over the front end and lights and things like that, then you may want to consider throwing this sway bar in there because it's going to help stabilize the load and kind of manage the body roll of the vehicle with that additional weight. So this is a really good piece to have. We're just not going to make use of it in this specific build. So I think that covers all of the info that I can lay out here for you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, there's a lot of different pieces in these kits, and Old Man Emu does a really good job of making high quality suspension. They just don't always do a good job of explaining how to use it or utilize all the pieces that they give you. We'll jump back in now. I've got the front end already torn apart as you saw, so we're going to throw in the front struts first and then we'll work our way back on the truck. But I think now it's just going to be a matter of bolting things up and kind of redoing the steps that we did to take it apart. I just noticed this, and I've never seen it before, but as I was putting the top nuts on the strut, in this fender liner, it says "Lift Me Baby" at the top, which, I mean, I do as I'm told, so we're getting a lift on here, but it has it on both sides. So far, all the Old Man Emu stuff has gone in pretty nicely up front, but now I've got to tackle the disconnecting sway bar again. So I don't know if you guys have messed with these or if you have a better way of getting them in, but right now the best solution that I've come up with is zip tying it into place, so that way the end links are up and kind of out of the way. That way I can position it, and then I'll lower the Bronco down and I can kind of jack this up about the same time. And that should get it close enough in place that I can reconnect the wiring harnesses and get these into the lower arms without having to fight it too much. So we'll see how it goes. we finished everything up front, so now we're moving to the back. We've got our rear shocks all mounted up. The new coils are on them, so we'll get this popped in here, and we should be pretty close to done. All right, folks, we've got the suspension all dialed in, and we've got the new wheels and tires on here, so this thing is looking pretty menacing now. It's definitely a big step up in tire size and even in ride height. So we're sitting a little taller in the front because of those heavy rate springs that I talked about earlier. But if you guys stay tuned, we're going to have another build video coming pretty quick where we're throwing on a worn bumper with a 10,000-pound winch and some lighting. So that's going to kind of change the dynamics of the front end, and that was why we optioned this spring in. But that'll get the stance pretty much leveled front to back. And then as far as fitting the 37s, it looks like everything's going to tuck pretty cleanly for us. The Sasquatch Badlands Bronco doesn't come with crash bars, so we didn't even have to pull those out. They're already clear, and there's really not a lot in the way inside of the fenders, so I think we'll have no issues getting these to turn, and we shouldn't have any problems with it clipping or rubbing. The only thing from here is that we will need to get it aligned, and if you guys are following along with this or doing it at home, definitely make sure you have a professional alignment done on your truck after you finish your suspension, because it's going to mess with the way it drives, and it'll mess with your tire wear and everything if you don't dial that in. Also, I think it's worth shouting out Old Man Emu /ARB for hooking us up with the suspension and getting it here so quickly, and also shout out to Fuel Wheels and BFGoodrich for getting the wheels and tires to us as well. We've got a really stout setup. Before we wrap things up though for the video, I did want to throw in some footage here from our Colorado trip because we weren't building this truck for nothing. We wanted to get it out and hit some trails up there around Ouray and Telluride and actually wheel the truck and kind of make use of all this new equipment. So you guys will see a little bit of a teaser for that, but we'll have some better reviews and some other video kind of focusing on the Colorado trip coming down the road. That's kind of what that's all about and why the truck looks a little different. But like I said, stay tuned for the next build video doing the bumper and the winch. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.